Well, howdy campers, welcome to Dakota. As you know, this is our 110 which has been kitted out specifically for expeditions and overlanding. I thought we'd run around the car quickly and have a quick look at some of the things that we've got on our car and how it compares to yours, maybe give you some ideas. An axle check straps is probably not the first go-to you'd think of, but in my opinion it's a really rather good idea because if you want to flex out to the max, you might be hanging off the shock absorber, or you might be hanging off the springs as well. They might even pop out of the cone, which is not something you'd like. Also, you could be hanging on the brake line, which is not what you want. So rather than get the max flex out of your vehicle, which is normally what you'd think you'd want to do, rather limit that. And here we look at the front one, which is mounted a little differently from the chassis down to a plate on the front axle, using the same bolt for the panhard rod. And obviously the same thing applies here, and especially with the brake lines, because the last thing you want to do, especially when you're out there solo, way out in the wild, which is the idea, you want to rather bring your car back in one piece. So rather limit your flex a little bit. This is about the max we got, and then be sure that you'll get your vehicle back to civilization, because that's part of the fun as well. You want to go out there, have some fun, and don't have to worry too much about something breaking on the vehicle, especially when it's pretty much stock standard like this one. What we have here as well is a standard front bumper, as you can see. And if you didn't notice the roller block, you probably wouldn't know there was a winch on the vehicle. It's pretty much hidden away here. It's kind of recessed into the bumper here. It sits just in front of the radiator. You don't normally need a winch, but it's nice to have. Nice to know that if you need it, you can pull someone out of trouble. And in this case, it's not really very prominent like on some of the off-road bull bars that you find. What we also have here is a handmade custom bull bar, galvanized round tubing, which follows the shape of the front of the vehicle, which is quite discreet as well. It doesn't really stand out too much. You can see the weld seam marks there. It basically fits around the front bumper using the same bolts that hold the front bumper on the vehicle as well, which is pretty cool. I think it's quite discreet as well. Steering guard is a no-brainer. Basically, I think this is an aluminium one, but this one has plenty of holes, and basically it's just there to protect your panhard rod and your steering rod. It doesn't really do much else for you, but it's nice to have it. If something does go wrong and you slip off a rock, at least you're protected. This is unusual. This I haven't seen before. This are dust cap cover holders, basically, and it's a custom-made little piece of steel which uses the same flange bolts that I used to attach the flange to the axle. Tree slider, for us it's a no-brainer. Basically, it is the straightest piece on the car. We've got some non-slip tape on here, which is weathered really well. It's been years and years and still fine. And we use it to climb on top of the car, to get stuff from the roof rack, all of that. It's very, very handy. Here are the rear flanges. These are just the terra firma ones. It's a bit of seepage there. I think the little paper gasket's going, but those are pretty cool. Also, we have a mud flap check straps. And you think, what is this for? Well, I know a couple of people who keep removing their mud flaps unintentionally, especially when those deep muddy ruts when you're reversing. The mud flap pushes forward towards the tire, and it just comes off and you don't even know it until you get back to your garage. On the front, you've got the similar deal going. It's a very simple thing. What you do need is a little metal plate there to keep the integrity of the mud flap, that it stays straight, otherwise it just folds up and becomes rounded. And yeah, basically it's very simple and just keeps everything intact, so you don't leave spare parts lying around the countryside while you're exploring. What we do have on our 3-door commercial is space for a water reservoir behind the driver. In Europe anyway, it's the driver's side. It's about 50 liters, which is pretty cool. And that is also plumbed in pretty nicely here to an outdoor shower attachment, which is pretty cool. There's the plumbing. You can see the tap there, the main tap. There's a bit of stuff going around the exhaust there. Trying to see what's going on here. Can't really see much. And there's the tap for filling water buckets or something, which is quite nice. Here's the shower itself, all plumbed in. Very nice little thing, very well thought out. It's really handy as well for when you're on the beach to rinse off the salt water, or if you really need a shower out in the wild, there you go. Cold water only, so get used to it. This doesn't look very standard. I'm sure the eagle-eyed among you will see this little plate that's been put in there. That's the normal depth of the rear window. In this case, it's been modified because we spend quite a lot of time sleeping in the vehicle, and the whole vehicle has been made to do that. It's quite well done as well. The finishing on this vehicle is just phenomenal. Very well engineered, very well made, and very well thought out. So here we can see the window can open out. I think they made it this height so it will clear the spare wheel, which is also on a separate carrier, which carries a bit towards the right-hand side of the vehicle. It's very handy. Gives you a lot of airflow, especially on those warm days. It's basically just a piece of perspex, but well done as well. You can see how it's been through the wars. It's probably as old as the vehicle, which is a 93 TDI. So yeah, it's been around for quite a while. But yeah, very well done. It works really well. Really happy with that. It's a nice idea as well. What I do have here is also some insulation tape, which is basically finishing off what Land Rover didn't do in the sealing of the doors, especially when it's really windy. You can really tell how the wind comes through no matter how tightly you slam the door. Here's a little cover for the rear window, which is quite nice. It's got some foil on the back, which is good for the sun. Here's some Velcro, and that is for the mosquito netting. Here's a little extra handle, which obviously in the Land Rover didn't give you either. On this side is our little air compressor. So this is using another area of the vehicle, which is normally open space, which is pretty cool. It's plumbed into the rear. You open the rear door and there's a connection there for your hose. Trying to see what's going on underneath here. I can't really see that much. I think there's the canister for the air compressor there. But yeah, open empty space, which you can use for most things. Yeah, there it is. That just sits in there. That's all very good. Nice to have that on board, and it's not in the way. It's all hidden away pretty well. Yeah, the vehicle's looking a bit grubby there, but it's been raining a lot as well here. Obviously a fuel tank is here, and here's the auxiliary, which is behind the passenger on our European spec left-hand drive. This is about 50 liters. There you can see the tank itself. It's got some protection there for stones and stuff flicked from the front wheel, and if you're off-roading. And also at the back here we have a bigger fuel tank. And basically you can see here how it sits below the chassis rail, and it's got its own little bash plate there, also from aluminium. Obviously their tow hitch has been adapted a little bit here as well. And this holds about 105 liters now instead of the usual 75. And that added to the auxiliary tank is an extra 155 liters. What we have is a handhold, also handmade, very sturdy. It's good for the passenger to hang on while you're going down those bumpy tracks. Also something Land Rover didn't think to add into their standard equipment, obviously. What we also have on the commercial is space here for some speakers, CB and radio, and for some lights, reading lights, which is pretty cool when you're in the back. On the other side of the vehicle, in the back here, is a really nice little storage space, which is very well made as well, which I use a lot, more than I expected. So in here I've got all the tools that we need. Basically there's a lot of electrical tools here, and mostly screwdrivers, because things do rattle loose a lot, right, as you know. Here we have some of the wheel bolts, wheel nuts, and also we have a little box with our spanners and our ratchets and stuff, and a whole lot of other spares in there, especially maybe, who knows, a clutch cylinder. Got some winch gloves in there. It really holds quite a lot. We've got some lights, We've got a spare fuel cap. We've got a spare oil cap, which we've lost before as well. Tire pressure thing. A whole lot of little spanners and stuff, even a little side repeater, and a door handle which has broken off once or twice. And you don't leave home without one of those. What I can say is that it does get a little damp in here, especially after a long rain, which is not exactly ideal. But hey, the space is there. It's really nicely done, and I reuse it more than I thought, as I said. On this side, we have a little cupboard which was made. This was basically for hanging clothing, but we've changed it into our little, let's say, everything you need go to, especially in the morning, toothpaste, all of that stuff. And it works really well. It's a nicely made little thing. Pretty cool. So all in all, it's pretty good. Nice little vehicle. All these little touches. Some of them I wouldn't have thought of, as we have a quick spin around the vehicle here. And I thought maybe, you know what, if you do have your own Expedition Overlander, these are some ideas, maybe things you thought you could have done, or maybe yours has been done differently. It's all good in the end. We're all landy owners. They're all adaptable. That's the beauty of these things. You can do anything to them, and I don't think there is a single landy out there that is the same as a different one, as another. So guys, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one, and keep rolling.